Well, I grew up in Newark, Ohio, and had one of the idyllic childhood with two parents who fell in love when they were in seventh grade and stayed married until my dad passed away just a couple of years ago. A brother and a sister, and I lived in a community where filled with friends and relatives, and sort of a Disney movie backdrop to my growing up. Well, I knew that I wanted to be a judge since I was in fourth grade. I went on a field trip. Amazingly enough, they let these 10-year-olds into the courtroom to watch a criminal trial. And I knew right then and there in that the West Courtroom in Lincoln County and the courthouse in Lincoln County, a beautiful, beautiful space. I knew right then and there that I wanted to be a judge and I wanted to be an attorney. And so circumstance and luck and some grace, it all worked out and I became a judge. I attended Ohio University, did a couple of years of grad school at Penn State, and then went to Capital Law School at night and graduated and went right back to Newark and practiced law. I'm married. I've been married almost 30 years. I have two daughters. My oldest is 22 and just graduated from Kent State. She's working in New York City. And then my youngest is a sophomore at OU. So two great kids and I'm really proud of them. The 10-year-old wanted to become a judge because he saw the courtroom, saw the excitement of the trial, probably saw the gavel and the robe and whatever prestige comes with that. But over the arc of my career, I've learned that there's much more to it than that, and that you can make a real difference in our communities and our counties and the state of Ohio, more than just in a common pleas courtroom or a courthouse in a county. But now the Court of Appeals, and I feel this now, I have 15 counties in the 5th District Court of Appeals, and you feel like you can make a difference in those 15 counties. And I just want to further that ability to make a difference in the legal system, a system that I respect and care about very much. In terms of pro bono, the way that judges can contribute in pro bono is to help develop young lawyers. And my chambers, when I was in common pleas, for the 8 years that I was in common pleas court, and the 4 years, almost 5 that I've been in the Court of Appeals, we brought on college students and law students to intern in the office. And to be honest with you, that's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, because you have these kids come in, young adults really, but they get exposed to the system and hopefully exposed to the right way of doing things. They can be around the courthouse, be around the courtroom, and be around a judge and see how it works and see, I hope, how it really is supposed to work. I am a constitutionalist. I'm a textualist, depending. That has a lot of different meanings to a lot of folks, but here's what I believe. I want to uphold the Constitution. I want to respect and uphold the separation of powers. I want to be the judge that when I rule on an issue, I rule on that particular issue and stop and be humble enough to stop. And the bottom line is that judges should not make law, but interpret law. And those are the values that I think I've had and lived as a common pleas judge, as a Court of Appeals judge, and that's who I'll be as an Ohio Supreme Court Justice. Domestic Relations Court is one of those courts where people who aren't normally involved with the government can find themselves in that court either as litigants or as a witness or in some other capacity. And so I always felt a special responsibility there to make sure that those people, whatever their role, whatever they were in the courthouse or in my courtroom to do, were treated with respect and dignity. And those people understood that we saw them as human beings in these cases and not as numbers on a case file or as issues to be quickly resolved. We wanted to make sure that their faces were there on these situations. And so I felt that responsibility to make sure that people understood that they were the citizens in their courthouse. because it worried me. If they didn't think there was justice in this situation, and they didn't have other opportunities to see government work, they might begin to doubt how our system really works, and what kind of justice, what kind of fairness, and ultimately justice comes to people who participate in the functions of our republic. The law, as you know, is so pervasive and moves through every aspect of our society, from parents and families to corporations to folks involved in the criminal justice system. And the Ohio Supreme Court is the ultimate determiner of appeals cases that work their way through the system, and helps to make sure, or should be the entity that determines ultimate justice on these cases, and doing the right thing. And that would be exciting to be a part of, is having a say statewide about how justice is determined in Ohio. Honesty, integrity, hard work, and then I think for a judge, to the degree that you can, transparency. I mean, you think you need to, in your opinions, let people know why you're making the decision you're making, and a good philosophy regarding the court and the court's role in our government. I think I have the background and experience, a good record as an attorney, a good record as a common pleas judge and a court of appeals judge, and a court of appeals judge in the 5th District, where one of the largest districts geographically, and the largest by 500,000 people. We have 1.5 million people in our Court of Appeals district. And that shows the diversity of the communities, the people, and the cases that come before us on the Court of Appeals, and demonstrates my track record of dealing with that diversity and those complex issues, and just my overall record as a judge.